We ready to go?
We almost. We're good.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go and get started. Sorry about starting a little bit late. We'll get to you as quickly as we can. This evening, we're going to be having hearings for the City of Deltona for the code enforcement matters. Calling the meeting to order. First thing we do, we've got just some procedural matters. We go around the room for the folks that are on this side of the rope, just to identify ourselves, so you know who we are and what we do, what our role is in tonight's process. So let me start with identifying myself. My name is William Reichman. I'm an attorney. I've been doing code enforcement matters. I actually represent several cities and I've been representing code enforcement boards, and I've been special magistrate here and other places now. Let's see, it's special magistrate for probably about 20 years. I'm an attorney for about 40 years. So doing this much longer than I care to remember. And I'll be the one that'll be listening to you into the city, and I'll talk a little bit more about the process in a second. So with that, we're going to go around the room so everybody knows, who's who and what their role is in this process.
My name is Danny Ron, co-compliance supervisor.
Myron San Miguel, special magistrate hearing clerk.
Mark Gibson, Code Compliance Supervisor.
That's first. That's first.
That's the first one, sir.
Richard Lovett, Assistant Director, Code Compliance.
Ron Paradise, Community Services.
Thank you, folks. Please stand with me and we'll pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everybody. So here's how. This is a process that we're all going through together tonight that's set up by the Florida statutes. So we didn't make it up here in the city of Deltona. Every local government goes through the same process. And you can either have a code enforcement board, and some cities do, or some cities choose to have a special magistrate. And that's what the city of Deltona, your city of Deltona, chose to do, is to appoint an independent attorney to act as a hearing officer, to hear the city's position, and then also to hear your positions, your statements about what's going on. This isn't a full-blown trial. It's not. It's more like, I don't know, depends on your generation, Judge Wapner or Judge Judy and those aren't probably perfect examples, but the point is that we want to make sure that everyone has a chance to say what you want me to hear, because I'll make my decision today. And we try to exercise everyone's basic due process. Everyone that has a case on the agenda this evening received a notice of the hearing, consistent with Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes, which is the code enforcement statutes. And if you're here and you want to speak on your case tonight, you will have that opportunity. And I will listen to you and consider your testimony and any other evidence you wish me to see or hear. The officers will present right there, and I believe, folks, that podium right there, I'm pointing to the one that would be to your right. That's the podium that if you could come forward. When you do come forward, when it's your turn, then if you could give your name and your address, because it's important for the record for everyone to know who's talking. The city will go first on every case. The city goes first because they have to go first. It's their burden. If they don't make their case, then we stop there. But after they go, then I want to hear from you. And so that's in a nutshell what the process is. I think it's important for all of you to know that the only way this is fair is that I'm neutral, and I don't represent any of these folks up here. They've got their own attorney. I don't represent them. I don't represent any of you all. I haven't had any phone calls or any emails or any communications with anybody about any of the cases tonight. So all of this I'm going to hear and see for the first time. So my decisions, I want you to know that any decision I make today, the decisions I make tonight, will be based upon the evidence that we all hear together. So I'm not basing it upon something that I read or did. I'm not. I'm basing it upon what I hear. You'll know what I'm basing it on because you're hearing it as I'm hearing it. So a couple announcements. a couple cases have been withdrawn, just to make sure that you're not here on one of those. Those are DEL 2243 with an address at 2838 Howland Boulevard, 22086, address 826 Trafalgar Street, pardon me if I mispronounced that, and then DEL 22097, 665 Varden Avenue, and then 22100, case was withdrawn, and 22106, the case was continued. So with that said, we're going to get, and what we do is we start with folks that are here. It's only fair. So we had a sign-in sheet, and the top of the sheet goes first. So the first case that I have is DEL 22. Oh, yeah. I apologize. I need to swear everybody in, and that's going to be all of the code enforcement officers and anybody that wants me to hear what you have to say this evening. So if you would stand and raise your right hand, please. You swear or affirm that the testimony you will give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to get to the first case. It's DEL 22102. Just give me a second so I can get there as well. Okay. This has a property address as at 1363 Lydia Drive in Deltona, and the parcel owner is identified as Charles Gorey, I believe, and this has to do with a public nuisance. City ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Officer Laracy.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This case is in reference to case number DL 22-102, City of Deltona versus Charles E. Gorey, Jr. Property address is 1363 Lydia. Parcel number is 813-007-710-260. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 37-10, public nuisance, which states all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared to be public nuisances, the abatement of which pursuant to the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition to both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. Excuse me. This is a proactive case that began December 2020. It was a roof that had a tarp on it, as you can see by the photos. I've been working with the resident since then. He attempted to complete the work through the VA, I guess, but was not comfortable with the roofing company that was going to be hired, so he just stated that he was going to complete the work himself. The property is still in violation as of today. There was a permit that was obtained August of 2021. That permit was expired and voided out, and a new permit was requested February of this year. The permit has been issued and is on file, and as of today, there hasn't been any inspections as far as the permit's considered.
When was the last time you inspected the property, officer?
Property was inspected this morning.
And is the condition of the property indicated and shown by these, represented accurately by these photographs that we're all looking at?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So just so we're all on the same page, for the City of Deltona standpoint, what needs to happen for this property to come into code compliance?
According to Mr. Gorey, there's some damage to the roof, so the roof would need to be replaced.
All right, so the roof needs to be repaired, which means what? It doesn't have to be replaced entirely?
I don't know the extent of the damage to the roof.
Okay, but they'll have to get a permit, fix the roof, get it inspected, and get the work approved.
Correct, which a permit has been pulled, but then expired, and a new permit was pulled and issued.
So it's just pending?
Correct.
Okay. Is there anyone here for the property at 1363 Lydia? Sir?
Yes, I'm it.
Yes, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Charles Gorey.
Okay, Mr. Gorey, what do you want me to hear today?
Well, right now I'm in the middle of getting this thing done. I showed this letter to my VA, and He couldn't believe this. I have 3 months left on this permit, which expires August 4th. And I'm trying to get this roof done, which I talked to this friend of mine. We're going to work together on it. And the soonest I can get this roof done is within 6 to 8 weeks. And this has to be done in sections, because it has to be done, stripped, inspected, top painted, weight inspected, then the final roof.
So what I'm hearing you say is that you need a little bit more time.
Well, like I said, about another, we figured 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
And I have a permit that expires on August 4th, which
Okay,
is way
that's the current
after.
Correct.
So what is the city's position on the residents' request for a little more time of 6 to 8 weeks?
We request 60 days or a $50 a day fine.
I'm sorry, what?
60 days to comply or a $50 a day fine.
Okay, so 60 days would be,
That'll be over the 8 weeks.
pardon me?
That'd be fine.
Okay, so let's do it that way. Mr. Goria, I am going to find that the property's in violation. I mean, I think that's pretty straightforward.
Well, I don't know the way you're stating it. Yeah, that's not a top, that's rolled roofing. There's a big difference.
I understand that, but I mean, the fact is that there is a code, and the code
I
requires the
understand
roof to
that,
be
but the way the
completed.
system's done, it stinks. But, you know, even my VA counselor, he can't believe this letter.
Well, I'm not in charge of keeping your VA person, you
No,
know,
true, but see-
satisfied. My job is just to identify, look at the facts, and
I
apply the facts
understand
to
that.
the
The
case.
reason it's taken so long to not to interrupt you is because I have a combat disability, I have a bad heart from Agent Orange, and I only can do so much a day.
And that's why I'm going to give you your requested 60 days, okay?
Yeah.
So 60 days to bring the property in compliance, or a $50 per day fine.
That's fine, and as I progress, I will gladly call this sweet
Yeah,
lady
if you would
and
please
let her
work
know.
with this officer.
Yeah.
Our objective, let's be really clear to everyone in the room, our objective is not to fine a dollar to any one person. Our objective is just to make the community look a little better by getting the
Well, I
properties in
understand it
compliance.
needs to be done, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Okay, well, thank you for being here tonight, sir. I appreciate that and appreciate your cooperation.
Okay?
Okay, we're all set.
Adios.
Thank you. What's the next case?
That's next.
Okay, the next case is DEL 22008. It's a Massey case, 1023 Gage Avenue. Just give me a second to get there. Officer Lircy, you ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Please do.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is a Massey case, DEL 22-008, City of Deltona versus THR Florida LP. Property address is 1023 Gage Avenue, Deltona. Parcel ID is 813-057-010-010. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any of all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on January 26, 2022, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner has not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 a day since February 26, 2022. As of today, the
Since February,
26th,
okay. So is the property still in noncompliance?
as of today, the property is still in violation.
Do you have pictures of the property as of,
As of today, yes.
those are today's?
This is from December. It should be clicking through here.
Show me the ones that are from today. That's today's?
Stand- Doesn't look like today's pictures made it on here. Nope, doesn't look like today's pictures made it on here, but I was out here this morning.
Okay, so tell me, you went out and inspected the property this morning, and what did you see?
There's a large tarp on the roof now.
Okay.
There has been a new ownership since this case began. I believe they're here.
Say that now, say that
There
again?
has been a new ownership since this case has began.
Okay. Okay. What has to happen for the property to come into compliance? Just, gentlemen's here, let's make sure everyone understands.
There's significant damage to the roof, so I would say the roof would need to be replaced from what I could
Okay.
gather from my
So what is the total fine that you're looking for through today?
total fine is $6,000.
With the fine to continue at $100 per day?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're here on behalf of the owner? Go ahead, sir.
Señoría, buenas tardes. My name is Jose Gomez. I don't speak English, I speak Spanish.
Does anyone can translate for this? Do you speak English, sir?
No, I don't speak English, I speak Spanish. You translate it, please.
We're going to get someone to translate.
Okay, thank you. ¿Qué es lo que quiere? ¿Que ponga la Picasso?
Officer Josimar Jimenez,
Thank
Code
you, ma'am.
Compliance Officer.
Could you just ask him to tell me what his name is, please?
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Jose Gomez.
And are you with THR Florida LP?
¿Y tú eres con THR?
No, no.
No.
Jose R. Gomez.
No, he's the new owner.
New owner. Okay.
This new owner. El owner es el marzo 25.
He became a new owner March 25th of this year.
Aquí está el warranty.
Okay. He would agree that the roof needs to be fixed.
Tú dices que sí, que el techo se tiene que arreglar.
Sí.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
He agrees.
When he,
Dile-
please tell him when he bought the house,
Dile que ya tengo.
Cuando compraste la casa, te diste de cuenta que el techo se tenía que arreglar.
Que se había que arreglar, pero que no tenía, o sea, que solamente había sido un árbol que había caído arriba. Y que ya tengo el permiso aprobado para empezar el lunes a arreglar el techo, que ya tenemos todo.
He was aware that that the roof needed to be replaced. He has an appointment, ¿qué día?
El lunes.
This Monday to have somebody come by and repair the roof, and he was aware of it when he bought the property.
okay. So just please let him know that it's not just the roof needs to be repaired, but there is an order that has a fine running.
Él te está diciendo que no es solamente que tienes que arreglar el techo. Cuando compraste la propiedad, esto ya estaba pasando y hay una multa que uno tiene que pagar.
Sí, pero dile que a mí no me dijeron ninguna multa y yo estaba fuera del país cuando la compré.
He's not aware of any fines that were given, and he was out of the country when he bought the property.
Okay. Well, there you go. So please let him know that I'm finding today that the property remains in non-compliance, consistent with the city's prior order.
Que la propiedad sigue todavía, que todavía está en deuda y que él todavía dice que todavía no está tal día con la ciudad.
Pero dile que yo no tengo culpa de eso, porque cuando yo compré, el Rialto nunca me dijo que tenía ese problema.
He said that he doesn't feel like he is responsible. The realtor never told him that he would be responsible for these fees.
Well, that would be, I'm not his lawyer.
Que él no es tu abogado.
He may want to get a lawyer.
Tú a lo mejor vas a necesitar un abogado.
He may have some rights against the seller.
A lo mejor vas a tener unos derechos contra la gente que te vendieron la propiedad.
And also maybe the realtor.
Y a lo mejor también el realtor que te vendió.
But here's what's going to happen today.
Pero esto es lo que va a pasar hoy.
I'm going to enter an order finding that the property remains in violation.
Entrar una orden diciendo que la propiedad sigue sigue mal.
There's a fine that continues to run,
Que va a haber una multa que va a continuar,
$100 per day.
$100 por día.
So it's important for him to understand that he controls how much that fine is going to be. The sooner he brings the property in compliance, the sooner that fine ends.
Es bien importante que tú sepas que tú eres el único que está en control sobre esas multas.
Pero-
Entonces, mientras lo más rápido que lo haga, lo más posible.
Que haga que el techo.
El techo.
Dile que el techo está ready el lunes. Únicamente estamos esperando que nos aprobaran el permiso, porque tenemos 2 meses aplicados para el techo. Lo aprobaron fue hoy. Para,
Entonces, ¿alguien viene el lunes o alguien va a repararlo
no,
empezando
no,
el lunes?
si es caso mañana ya tenemos todo.
¿Tienes todo para repararlo?
Todo listo.
So he's saying that he has someone coming by Monday to start repairing the roof.
It's ready.
Okay, tell him, here's what I'm going to do. The city wants me to impose a fine as of tonight of $6,000.
Está diciendo que la ciudad quiere darte una multa de $6,000 por todo lo que ha pasado desde febrero.
Based upon the circumstances that I'm hearing this evening, I'm going to reduce that fine to $1,000.
De las circunstancias que han pasado, con todas las cosas que han pasado contigo y todo, él dice que lo va a reducir a $1,000, no $6,000.
Okay.
But it's really important he understands
Pero es bien importante que tú entiendas
the fine is continuing to run at $100 per
que
day.
las multas van a seguir dándole todos los días, $100 por día,
Pero-
hasta que arregles el techo.
Y él ya se lo arregló, ya está. O sea, el techo está
¿Cuánto tiempo se tarda en hacer?
2 días. 2 days.
Okay?
He said that in 2 days he'll have it repaired.
Okay. Now, it's important, finally, that he gets Officer Laracy's card and contact information.
Es bien importante que cojas la información de tu oficial ahí para que tú puedas contactar con ella y verificar para que ella venga y venga a chequear el techo.
¿Y esa multa cuándo tengo que pagarla?
He wants to know when the $1,000 are owed.
You can coordinate that with Officer Laracy.
Puedes hablar con ella sobre todo eso, del dinero. Pero ahora mismo son $1,000 y cada día diario que no arregles el techo son $100.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, señoría.
You bet. Okay, everyone understand?
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay,
you.
great.
Coge la información ahí.
Are these together?
Yes, sir, one location, one address. Okay.
Mario, ¿y cómo hago para pagar los $1,000? Y ya, el techo lo arreglo mañana mismo, si acaso.
Can you take, Miriam, take him back there?
Llamar y ustedes se pueden contactar y ella te explica todo eso por teléfono. ¿Está bien? Ella te va a llamar, pero tú puedes llamarla a ella aquí.
Josie, can you take it to the back of the room?
Is there a 139?
139?
I got it.
I mean, if they're all Hummingbird, I've got 138, 139, 140, 141. And I've got 138, 140, 141. So I don't have 139.
Good evening, Mr. Reichman. 139, that is correct. That will not be being presented tonight. That is coming to compliance and is not being heard.
Okay, withdrawn. Thank you. I just want to make sure, because I got 4 on the agenda and 3 files in front of me.
Correct. It was withdrawn before posting.
Okay. All right. So the next cases we have are 3 cases, folks. They all deal with one address. I'm going to take them one by one. Facts are probably different. They all deal with the property at 161 Hummingbird Street. There's 3 cases, DEL 21-138, one DEL 21-140, and DEL 21-141. Again, all Massey cases and all dealing with the property at 161 Hummingbird Street. Officer San Miguel,
Yes, sir.
city ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's do one case at a time, unless you have some sort of arrangement that's been worked out. No?
No,
Then
sir.
let's go forward with DEL 21-138. Again, this is having to do with a roof, and it's a Massey case.
Good evening. My name is Myron San Miguel. I was employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer at the date of this case. This will be Massey case number DEL 21-138. The City of Deltona versus Janet Acevedo. The property address is 161 Hummingbird Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 803605080070. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. It was entered into evidence exhibits proving proper service and a copy of the original magistrate order along with photographs. This case was heard originally on October 27th, 2021. The order was signed on October 27, 2021, giving 120 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day until the property comes into compliance. The property is now the property was 152 days in violation since November 26 to the current date of April 27, 2022. Total of 152 days at $100 a day, totaling a fine of $15,200 and continuing. This initial case was for a permit for the roof. You gave an order in October of 30 days if a permit was not necessary. If a permit was necessary to obtain that permit within that 30 days, and then 120 days after the date of that permit was not obtained until March, and the roof is still in complete disrepair and needs to be replaced. The city's disposition is to request that the fine of $15,200 be imposed and a continuation of the $100 a day until the roof is finished. The property is still occupied by all 4 units.
Is this a residential residency?
Yes, sir. It is
It's a rental?
It's all 4 rental, yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Could you identify yourself, please?
Good evening, this is Jenny Acevedo.
Yes, ma'am. What did you want me to hear tonight?
I already did on compliance with air conditioning and the plumbing and all that. Right now is the roof. I had the contractor, unfortunately, I got sick with COVID, double COVID, and a 3rd-degree burn. So I got all that if I have to present that as my proof. But I've been trying to get with the roof, which is already settled down. We already got the permit. Before that, they inspected it. They fixed it for temporary up to, because I was with the lawyers trying to debate with the insurance company. After we have debated all that time, already it went through. So we're just waiting for it to clear out so we can start the roofing at this point.
Waiting for what to clear up?
The weather, because they told me they can't do anything unless everything is clear for a couple of days to
I
start.
see. So the problem is that the order that I think you were here the last time,
Yes,
too.
I was.
I remember you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Gave an appropriate amount of time, and it's been just, and I understand your circumstances, your health circumstances. Got my own health issues as well, we all do, right? So,
Correct.
So I want to do the right thing here, but the property has been, in disrepair, and the thing that gives me some concerns, it is occupied. And,
When you mean this repair, what do you mean by that?
pardon me?
What do you mean that this repaired? Because I've been sending people up there to patch it, and the tenant that was there, which is apartment A, was my contractor, and he was the one that called code enforcement, and he knew everything was going on at that time. He was the last one that was trying to fix my roof up to everything what the lawyer was going through. So unfortunately, this is where I'm at this point. But after they left, I sent somebody else to patch it, to fix it temporarily, up to everything goes through. Now, my contractor, which I have a letter here, he was working with everybody at that point. So,
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure that you understand that the fine is going to continue until the roof is repaired.
I understand, I'm just waiting for the weather just to clear it. I mean, that's out of my
Okay.
hands, that's nature at this point. We're all waiting at this point.
Okay, well, here's what I'm going to rule. I'm going to rule that I am going to rule in favor of what the city's requested, which is the fine that is 152 days times $100 a day, and the fine will continue. This is my suggestion. And this happens all the time, ma'am. When you get the roof finished,
Okay,
come on in,
okay,
and you can ask to have a hearing to reduce the fine.
okay.
And I'm probably going to do that. No guarantees, no promises, but I'm probably going to do it. But here's the thing. The only power that this process affords me as a special magistrate to try to get to the end game, the end of the race is compliance.
Okay.
And so I've got to continue to keep that hammer in my hand
Correct, I understand.
until we get to that end of the race. And
I understand, I'm
and
with you.
and when we get to the end of the race, I'm happy to put that hammer down, but not yet.
I understand.
Okay.
My question is, because you said it's 150 days, I mean, that's a lot of money at this point, you know? I mean, I'm a single mom, I know that's not nobody's, you know? I'm trying to push it through, I mean, that's my first property.
What
as
I'm
an
doing is I'm
investment,
trying
so-
to incentivize you to make sure that you communicate to your contractors that we got some pretty nice weather out there today, and now's the time to get started.
Correct, I agree. I
Okay?
agree.
So that's the first case. And then the next case was withdrawn. That's DEL 21139, your property, but it had to do with exterior surfaces. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, so the next case has to do with plumbing. So I'm handling cases separately.
Yeah, I understand.
So I'm going to let the city go, and then you and I can chat some more.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, officer.
So for the records, my name is Myron San Miguel. I am employed by the city of Deltona and was a code compliance officer at the time that this case was initially heard. This is Massey case number DEL 21-140, City of Deltona versus Janet Acevedo. Property address is 161 Hummingbird Street in Deltona, Florida, 32725. The parcel ID number is 8036-0508-0070. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day that they were taken. This case was initially heard on October 27, 2021. The order was signed on October 27, 2021, giving 30 days to obtain a permit if needed, or a fine of $100 per day until the property came into compliance. If a permit was needed and obtained before the date of November 26, 2021, then the property owner would have 120 days from the issuance of that date to complete the work provided. The property was 81 days in violation from November 26, 2021 to the current date of February 15th, when I was notified that the property was in compliance. The violation date of November 26, 2021 started because of the fact that the work was incomplete, and it ended after 81 days on February 15th of proof that they are now in compliance. Totaling an amount of $100 a day at 81 days is $8,100. The city's position is to request that the fine be imposed.
That the fine be imposed?
Be imposed, yes, sir.
Okay, it's in compliance now.
It's in compliance now, but she went from November to not let me know until February, and the building was occupied. And due to the extent of the initial issues of water damage and unfortunate lack of communication due to circumstances, the city's position is to impose the fine.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I guess I got here that it was done on January the 27th. So, I mean, I know it was an elbow from under the kitchen that was taken care of. Unfortunately, I had COVID, so I was in the hospital. We've been with my contractor and me. They couldn't let him go in. It is at this point. COVID is COVID. I'm sorry.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. It's really important to me that the property is in compliance now. It is disappointing that, because in the last hearing, we agreed there was a certain amount of time that was appropriate.
Correct.
And yet, you got sick. So I'm going to reduce the fine, because I'd rather have you spend your money on fixing the roof than paying a fine.
Correct.
So I'm going to reduce the fine to $1,000. And remember I told you in the last hearing, I'm looking for the end of the road. Well, you've got to the end of the road here. So that's why I'm willing to reduce, not do what the city's asking, but reduce it to $1,000. That way there's an incentive for you to get everything finished and also save you some money So you can use that to fix the roof.
Is there any way that those $1,000, I mean, because if we're gonna go ahead, between a couple of these, it's gonna be a lot of money.
Yes, ma'am, I know that, but the fine could be, depends on how you're looking at this glass, could be $8,100. So I'm reducing it substantially down to the $1,000. Okay? All right, our last case is DEL 21-141, again, a Massey case. This is having to do with appliances.
Yes, sir. Good evening. My name is Myron San Miguel. I'm employed by the City of Deltona and was a code compliance officer at the time that this case was initially heard. This is Massey case number DEL 21-140, City of Deltona versus Janet Acevedo. Property address is 161 Hummingbird Street, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 8036-0508-0070. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the date they were taken. I apologize. 1 second.
Take your time.
Okay. This case was also heard on October 27, 2021. The order was signed as the same as the prior, giving 30 days to obtain a permit if needed and to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day until the property came into compliance. If a permit was needed and obtained before November 26th, then the property owner would be given 120 days from the issuance of said permit. No permit was needed and no permit was obtained. However, there is not been evidence submitted to me to date that all 4 units have been completed and have come into compliance. However, due to the inspection of February 24th, I don't have paper evidence, but I visually saw that everything seemed to be in good working order. So the city's willing to accept that that is now in compliance. From November 26th to February 24th, that's a total of 90 days at $100 a day. Initially at $9,000, I would request that be reduced to $1,000.
And the city's willing to let the fine be reduced to $1,000?
Yes, sir. Simply because the first roof, that I think should take priority for the safety of the residents.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I did hear for the air condition, everything. I mean, this is what they gave me. We fixed it, and this was on October 26th. The only apartment was apartment A because there was people still there, which when they moved out, then I sent the same people to inspect my air condition. Unfortunately, they completely destroyed that apartment from head to toe. Right now, I mean, I fixed everything that it's on my hand on the air condition, which is, there's nothing really at that point. There's a capacity that has to be done there, but at this point, I put electricity there. Somebody stole electricity, now I owe the city Progress some money. At this point, I'm paying with them, so I can get light in there again to people continue fixing it there.
Well, again, let me make this observation. The important thing for me is that the property's in compliance. That's huge. So I am going to reduce the fine to $1,000 with this recommendation. When you get the roof repaired, you want to get in touch with this gentleman right here.
Okay.
And then you may want to come back and ask for a reduction. In our first case, the very first case we did, we can, at that point, you can also ask for a reduction in these fines.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm going to grant it, but we'll take a look at it completely
Okay.
and try to do what's fair. All right?
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Okay. And you know, with regard to the roof, if you can, try to stay, really get on top of that contractor.
No, trust me, I am. Because I called him today, and we were going to get together, but something happened to him, so we're going to get tomorrow again. So, because
Okay.
I really want that to be done.
There's been a lot of delays in these cases. That's the only reason that the fine started out so high this evening. And I just don't want that to continue, if we can prevent that.
Okay.
And I don't have any control over that you do.
I understand.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for being here.
Thank you. Have
You
a good
bet.
evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rushman.
Oops, thanks. Okay, the next case is DEL 22064, just this one.
Yes, sir.
It's a Massey case at 1851 North Merrick Drive. Just give me a second, please.
Mr. Rushman, if we could just wait 20 seconds while I log back in, please.
Ready when you are, sir.
My name is Steve Brockhoff, employee with the city as a code enforcement officer. This is case number DEL 22-064. This is a Massey case. Addresses 1851 North Merrick Drive, owner Richard and Cecilia Mamoli. This case was heard, it's involving the addition that's on the back part of the property, and it was put in without a permit. This case was heard on February 23rd of 2022. The order was signed giving 21 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 today, $100 per day until the property comes into compliance. The property still is in violation, violation from March 16th to April 27th, total of 43 days at $100 a day for a total fine of $4,300. Currently, it's still in violation. The city requests that the fine to continue until the property is brought into compliance.
Could you describe the current existing non-compliance?
If you look at the pointer, this entire structure in the back was put in without a permit.
So for this gentleman, or this property owner, excuse me, to end the fine, would he just need a permit?
It would have to, yeah, what he was cited for was not having a permit. If he gets the permit, and then, of course, it's got to be completed. He'll have 6 months every time you have an inspection that would be extended. But for this particular case, he needs a permit for this addition and then to complete the work.
Okay. So really all he needs to do now to stop the fine is just get in and get a permit.
That's correct.
Okay, this has been explained to him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, sir, or ma'am.
Your Honor, there's a mistake here, Your Honor. I have a letter from the engineers company that I hired back then. You gave me 21 days. The engineer company asked for 60 days, approximately. This gentleman standing on my left is harassing me with another complaint. When you gave me 21 days, you said to me last time I stood before you, I don't know why I'm here and why I got another citation. It's in the engineer's company, and I have a set of plans that I call them. I've been talking to them every other week. They're finally winding down with it, and they just have to tweak it. So I told them I got cited again from this gentleman, from code enforcement. So I don't understand it.
Well, this is real straightforward. It's a matter of getting a permit.
I understand that, but the plans are not completed, Your Honor. The engineer company gave me...
The prior order that was entered gave you 21 days just to get the permit, not to finish the project, sir, just to get the permit.
It's been done for 4 years, Your Honor. It's completed.
Okay.
We were in here. I stood before you. You said no fine. I walked
Not
out
yet.
of here.
That's what we're here on today.
Okay.
Okay, I've kind of flown down here to help address this. So
Thank you, ma'am. What's your
I'm
name?
his daughter, Tracy Memley. I live out of state. So I'm aware of everything going on. I met with the engineer this week. There's a letter here that he said that he provided to the office that said he needed about 60 days to help. So I'm not sure.
This is
My
a matter
mom.
of going in and filing an application for a permit.
Okay,
It's
so
as simple as that.
Right, and so
21
that's why
days-
I'm here to
kind of help bridge that gap.
Right.
My parents are elderly. My mother is hospitalized right now because of it. She started the permit. I have a piece of paper. I don't know the process to file the permit, but that's why I'm here, and I'm going to take care of that this week. So I have some, let me see what I have, some form that she started. She's now hospitalized for the past several days, so that's why it hasn't been
It just
complete.
surprises me that your dad said that he's been working with an engineer, and the engineer didn't go and get the permit.
I have a copy of the letter. Would
We
you like
have-
to see it, Your Honor?
We have this letter from the engineer, we have the plans. It's moving along, I don't know. I don't have that answer.
Let me turn to the building department. Is there anyone here from the city with the building department which could just, for the sake, they're both here. What's the process for getting a permit in a situation like this?
Typically, they do need engineered plans to pull a permit, or they'd be better served just to hire a contractor to try and rectify this unpermitted situation. Either way, you know, usually these existing structures do need some sort of engineering work to authenticate what's there, that it's code compliant.
So what's the date of my prior order?
Your Honor, I have all that.
Sir, hang on.
Stop, Dad.
February 23rd was when the order was signed.
Okay. And how much time in that order was the gentleman given an opportunity to get the permit?
He was given 21 days.
3 weeks. Okay. And the 21 days, 3 weeks passed, and then an additional 43 days has passed.
Mhm. Yes, sir.
60 days, 63 days. Okay.
So we have the plans, the permit, the plans. I have paperwork that my mom started. A lot of it's, I guess, online maybe that you fill out. They don't have internet, they don't have a computer.
I get
That's
it.
why I'm here, so
I get
I
it.
could fill it out and,
All right. Here's what I'm going to do.
Along.
I mean, the property, you just need to come in and help your folks get the permit.
right,
Okay.
right, and that's why I'm here.
And these folks
that's
right here
what I wanted.
are going to help you do that.
Okay, thank you.
But,
So
Your
before-
Honor,
Stop,
wait,
stop.
can you read this?
Dad, stop.
It's not going to change anything, sir.
Dad,
Well, why
Dad,
are they ignoring this here from the engineer company that I hired?
Dad, I have it.
Mr. Reichman, Richard Levitt, can I make a suggestion on this one? Seeing how the daughter is here and she's trying to work on it, you're not going to be able to fill out the application online. That is set up for contractors, not for homeowner builders. Homeowner builders would have to come in and do all the paperwork. I would be good with that, if the officer's good with that, to give them another, till the next hearing in May, the 25th hearing, to have the permit, and if they do not have the permit by that date, that it goes retroactive back to the original date.
Okay, so here's
And
what
I
the
think
city's
that would be
willing to
more
do.
than fair, since he's had a engineer come in.
City's willing to continue this case to the next hearing.
Okay,
And that's
thank
going
you.
to give you, ma'am, with your mom and dad, with your help, hopefully they can get in, get with these folks right here. Because we just want this thing to
Yes.
come into code compliance.
Yes, so,
Okay?
yes.
So if you could work with these two gentlemen right here between now and then, but if it doesn't happen, then my hands are starting to get tied.
Yes, that seems fine, but that's doable, timeline-wise, to get everything in. That's a typical timeline.
Yeah, so we'll give you till the May 25th hearing, which is really, he asked for 60 days, it's really giving him 90 to get everything finished.
Okay, thank you. And then how do I get in touch with?
This gentleman's going to give you his card, his contact information, to your left, ma'am. Here you go, sir. Thanks. Thank you for your help, ma'am. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Marion.
2 files, 1 case?
Yes, sir, two.
Okay. Okay. Next, we have two cases, one property. It's at 2838 Howland Boulevard. It's DEL 2240 and DEL 2242, both Massey cases. The former has to do with electrical, and the latter has to do with repair or move a structure, obtain a permit. So I'm going to handle these separately. Officer Laracy, 22040.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case. The number is DL 22-040. City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Parcel ID number is 813-039-090-070. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits.
Can you go back to that prior photo, please, and just kind of keep it there and then continue?
I'm sorry. Let's see.
Don't worry about it. We'll come back. I just thought that was that may be the issue we're talking about. That one.
Yes, sir. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 23rd, 2022, that the property was given 30 days to comply. The owner has not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $250 a day since March 26, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $8,250 over 33 days.
How many days?
33 days.
I'm sorry.
33 days.
Thank you.
As of today, the property is still in violation.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. This one's electrical. Tell me exactly what we're dealing with. What's the violation? What's the condition of the property that's causing this to be in violation?
There was electrical work that was done without permits. There was a lot of outlets that were used improperly. There were drop cords that were used improperly. There was a permit pulled, but there hasn't been any inspections for this permit.
So for this property to come into compliance, what needs to happen?
Replace and repair any of the faulty wiring that is at this property.
So it's going to require the work to be done and then the property owner to call a representative from the city to come out and do an inspection?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, my name is Robert Nieves and my wife Jamie Nieves. I didn't know that I was fine because I had 5 months to comply with this for the electric, because the electrician that I hired, he did one part and then he had to do another permit to comply with the ones that were under this roof, which was deemed a wet area. So all of that is fixed except for that box that was taken out yesterday to put a flex. But I didn't know that I had to be in compliance. I thought that I still had time for this because the structures that were there, I was given 5 months because I had to put together the 2 lots. And I think was...
Separate, you're only talking about electrical.
Okay, but they told me, right, that I could wait also with electricity because of the demolition from my 2 buildings there that I already demolished them. Seeing that I'm gonna get permits for canopies, aluminum canopies and everything like this, who was it that you talked to? Ron?
Sir, this particular case, apparently there were quite a few cases. This one had to do with some electrical work.
Yes, and it's completed except for that box.
And it was 30 days, it was not 6 months.
It was fine, it was...
The order, I'm looking at it right here, that I signed, and it's dated March 8th, 2022, not that long ago, gave you 30 days. So,
For the electricity?
yes.
And then we got a permit. We got 2 permits. One first that they went and inspected and he changed the whole box system, the circuit breakers and everything, and that passed. Then he failed to comply with the other part that was the wiring and to replace the PVC with the proper, with the proper conduit, and he did it. So he pulled that permit around last month, and I understood by talking to Carl in the office that I had up to 5 months to comply with that. So that everything electrical-wise except for that box is finished, which I called for an inspection of that. I left a message with whom?
Has the city received a request for an inspection?
No, sir, not by me.
So we left the message.
That would probably be with the,
fire department.
Hang on, one
I
at a
think
time,
Sheila-
folks. Hang on. Ma'am, please proceed.
Okay, I called.
And I need your name, please.
Jamie Nieves.
Okay.
I called the fire marshal for the inspection because as far as I understood it, the electricity and stuff had to be inspected by them. So is that correct? Did I just call the wrong person for an inspection?
the inspection would need to be done by the permitting department. And I believe fire has been involved, or the one that initiated this case.
Okay. Just from a technical standpoint, looking at the order, because that's what's driving today, is compliance or non-compliance in a timely fashion with the order. It said 30 days to correct the violation no later than March 25th. Do you have any evidence of when you called to advise the city that you were in compliance?
Well, apparently I've called the wrong person, so that's the
Okay.
issue there. I have no idea when I called,
Okay,
honestly.
so at this point in time, are you ready to have the city come out and inspect your property to determine whether everything is in compliance?
Oh, yes, oh, yes. Like I said, except for that, I took that out yesterday because I had a wire connected to the circuit, and then the electrician said, no, we have to get a conduit now. And that's why it's up. I have the materials there and everything. They were supposed to do that today. And that's why I
Okay.
screwed it, so they could do it. But yes, I'm ready for somebody to come and inspect it.
Well, again, this kind of seems a pattern what we're dealing with in the cases this evening, but a lot of it just has to do with a delay, extra time than what was provided, what we agreed on the last time we were here. So I'm going to reduce the fine to $1,000 from $8,000. But it's important, because what I'm more interested in is not for the city making money on your shoulders, okay? But they have costs associated with this. What I'm more interested in is making sure that you get with the right people and have the property inspected, because we're dealing with electrical stuff. And I know what I'm doing up here, but that would scare the living daylights out of me as far as that goes. And so, and maybe your neighbors and all the people that live around there. So that's why this one catches my attention. So I need for you to, who would they contact? You?
They would need to contact the building department and get a hold of an inspector to come out, according to the permit.
Marion, I'll get with that. Are you ready for an inspection
Yes,
on your
yes.
electrical?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then I will get with the building inspector and ask him to set that up tomorrow.
Good.
Okay.
Because it's been ready for a few days, actually, except that little part there.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, again, we had an agreement the last time we were here that it was going to be ready at a certain period of time, and I'm hearing you say, well, you're ready now. And that's why I'm willing to reduce the fine, but I want to make sure you understand that time is important for something like this. And I was trying to make that clear the last time we were here.
Yes, I
Okay.
appreciate it. And I really thought that it had to do with demolishing the buildings, which I already demolished.
Okay, well, you're here and you're making progress, so that's huge. You weren't here, trust me, I wouldn't be reducing the fine.
Yes, thank you.
But the more important thing is not necessarily you being here, but you contact these folks and we get this cleared up. Okay? Okay, the next case is DEL
Mr. Reichman.
22042. Sir, I'm going to let the city go ahead. This one has to do with repair, remove a structure, or obtain a permit.
Yes, I got the permit for
Sir,
demolition.
I'm going to let the city
I'm
go
sorry.
first.
I'm sorry.
I will hear from you, I promise.
Okay.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to a Massey case number DEL 22-042, City of Deltona versus Robert Nieves. Property address is 2838 Howland Boulevard. Property ID is 813-039-090-070. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed in property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be accurate and true portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled February 23rd, 2022. The property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner has not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 a day since March 26, 2022. As of today, the property is still in violation, 33 days over, with a total fine of $3,300. City is requesting that fines continue at $100 a day until compliance is met.
Okay, what do you have to say?
I don't understand what I need to, do I have to tear that down, or it was the buildings that were there? See, there was two buildings there, not there, the one before that. There were two buildings right there, that I said I would demolish, which I demolished it, except for that cement slab. And I thought I had 6 months for that, because that had to do with putting the two lots together, which I needed to contact a civil engineer, which I did, you know. And so that building was, the two of them were demolished. Now, that part had nothing to do with the buildings in that other lot.
We're talking about the 2838 property.
That?
Yes,
Well, I didn't know that I had to bring that down.
both of them were in disrepair.
No, I'm bringing that down. As you see, I got half of the parcel. What I'm saying is, I had no idea that was part of the violation that I had to bring down. I thought that I had to bring down what was in the other lot in order to combine those two lots, which I already demolished. And got rid
Officer
of all the
Larissy,
material.
do you have a copy of the order that this hearing is based upon? My file does not contain a copy of my prior order.
I do not have a copy of that order. Maybe
Okay.
Mr. San Miguel does?
This is
Stand by, I can pull it up.
2042. No? Okay, so if someone can get, and maybe look at it online, what I'm trying to get an understanding is what that order said for the amount of time that was in that order to bring the property into compliance.
I'll pull that up now, Mr. Reichman.
Beg your pardon?
I'll go ahead and pull that up now.
Thank you. Will you be able to put it on the screen?
I will try.
Will you be able to put that on the screen if you can pull it up?
I will try.
Okay, wait a minute, I got it. It was just underneath. Okay. Yeah, in this case, Mr. Nieves, the order that was signed by me on March 8th provided you 30 days to bring this property into compliance with this violation. So I'm not sure where you're getting the 6 months from, but it was 30 days.
For
So
that section there?
let's talk about that. What, if you could help him with these photos, it's either repair, replace, or remove, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Are we talking about all these structures?
There was a structure on the backside of the building that was in disrepair. It happened to be on the other address, which is considered a vacant lot. That one, he's in the middle of demolishing, and then it's this one here with the tarp that goes over all his.
Okay. Do you understand, sir, what she's saying?
Yes.
Okay.
But we didn't know that we had to repair this.
We didn't understand that part right there in the picture was a part of what needed to come
Okay.
down
Okay.
until just now.
Yeah,
Or
because
it
I'm
would've been
taking
down.
that, yes, that's where I want to put a structure there and replace it with the proper structure. But if I would have known that that needed something, I would have turned it down.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because that looks like something that I could build on the weekend. And that's not a compliment. So I'm going to continue this case for 30 days. And when we come back, I'm hoping that the city's going to tell me that's been torn down.
Oh, yes.
And then I can make a better decision on the amount of the fine and how much to fine you all. So again, my incentive, my power is the fine. So I'm going to keep hold of that. Because again, it's not the matter of making money for the city, it's getting the property in compliance. So I'm going to continue the case for 30 days. And then in that 30 days, you need to work with this lady right here to make sure you clearly understand what it is you need to do, okay?
So I gotta bring that down, right?
Yes.
Okay, that will be done.
Are we retroacting that if 30 days is not if he's not in compliance within 30 days?
I'm sorry, what?
Are we going to retro the fines?
The fine will continue to run
Okay.
during that continuance. It's running right now at $100 per day. So you have control over the amount that will come back to me in 30 days, whether it's $3,300, whether it's $4,300 or whatever. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. The quicker you can bring that property in compliance, the smaller the number that I need to bring it down from to do the right thing.
Understood.
Okay.
I have a question too, though. So since we didn't realize we were demolishing that 2838, does that mean now that I need a permit to take this down?
That is something that you're going to need to get with this young lady right here and potentially this gentleman right here, one of these two gentlemen right here.
I need a permit to tear that down?
Okay? So please, the reason we're here is we're having this conversation a little late. We're getting on the same page a little late.
Yes.
So let's not delay this anymore.
No, I got it.
Okay.
Because if you saw, I tore down, I did what I needed to do with the other side. I did not have any idea that I needed to tear that down.
And I think you can tell, I hear you. I'm listening to you.
I'll get it down,
We just need to work together.
yes.
Okay? Thank you for being here this evening. Appreciate it.
Mr. Reichman, Myron Samago, hearing clerk, for DEL 22-40, for that Massey case, when the building department goes out tomorrow to inspect, if that inspection fails and they are found to still remain in noncompliance, for the record, can you please state what the fine will be to continue?
The fine will continue the amount of $250 per day.
Thank you, sir.
That fine is going to, I reduced the fine as of today to $1,000, but the property remains in violation, so the fine is going to continue at $250 per day.
Understood, thank you.
Okay. Okay, the next case is DEL 22101. Let me get there. Okay, this is not a Massey case, I don't believe. And the property address is 931 Adler Drive, Deltona, Florida, with the property owner Charles and Charlene Hartfield.
Correct,
So
sir.
you'll go first, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DEL 22-010, City of Deltona versus Charles and Charlene Hartfield. Property address is 931 Adler Drive. Parcel ID number is 813-017-130010. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 37-10, public nuisance, which states all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared a public nuisance, the abatement of which pursuant to the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for the health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. All statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This was a proactive case. I noticed a large blue tarp on the roof, as you can see from the photos on the screen. Once initiated this case, there hasn't been any contact in regards to the violation or coming into compliance. As of today, the property is still in violation, and there are no permits on file for any roof repairs. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come in compliance, or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until the property is in compliance.
I'm sorry, say what?
Ask for 30 days or $100 a day.
30 days.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, if you could give me your name, sir.
Charles Hartfield, I'm the owner.
Yes, sir. I have to compliment you. I think in the years that I've been doing, that's the biggest tarp I've ever seen. But that's, again, not necessarily a good thing. So tell me what we can do so that tarp is removed and we get a nice new roof on there.
I can be in compliance tomorrow, remove the tarp tomorrow. However, if I do, then will the city be liable for any interior damages that occur in my house, which have already taken place?
Well, I think that the answer to that question is how quickly can you get that roof fixed so you don't have damages?
It's currently in litigation through my attorney and the insurance company. I have the notice right here. Litigation was filed on February 7th from the attorney to the insurance company. They've been working back and forth, and they have not reached a decision yet. I mean, the roof, visually, there are no missing shingles. There are no torn shingles. It was hail damage from more than a year ago. The claim was first filed in August, and the tarps had to go on in December. And that's the only code that I'm in violation of, was having tarps on my roof. Like I said, I can take them off tomorrow.
So I see where you're going. So let me ask this to the city.
Yes, sir.
Could compliance be the gentleman removes the tarp?
Compliance is to remove the tarp, yes. Unless, like I said, I haven't had any contact with him, so I don't know the situation of what's going on with the property.
Let me put it this way. It's your choice whether you remove the tarp. The city's not going to be responsible for any interior damages. So I don't know the condition of your roof. I don't know if you remove the tarp, there's going to be problems. If that's what we're trying to do here is to get around the fact that this is a code violation, which it is. I'm not going to tell you what to do with the tarp, but that is the violation. So, I don't know if you could do temporary repairs to the roof while you're waiting for the litigation to end.
The whole roof needs to be replaced, shingles. And we have water damage in 5 different rooms of our home, so that's why the whole entire roof was tarped.
Do you have any idea how much longer you're going to need before you're going to be able to replace
I talked with my lawyer today to find out what I needed to do, and he says that he's still waiting to hear from the insurance company, that they've already had a couple of counter offers already, so he said it's going to be soon, but he cannot guarantee how soon. So he said that best thing to do is ask for at least a couple more months of a continuation. That's all he can do.
Okay. What does the city have to say?
I'm okay with 60 days.
Okay.
Let's
see where we are in 60 days.
And my lawyer has been in contact with the city, and he doesn't understand why this has even come to this point right now, because he's been working with the city. He's been sending them letters, and when I told him I got this certified letter here a few weeks ago, he said, why? He says, I've never seen a city do that. He says, you're not an HOA, are you? I go, I feel like I am.
Well,
I lived in that house for 21 years.
So I'm going to go ahead and give you 60 days, because that's what you said, maybe it can be resolved in that time.
I'll let my lawyer know.
Keep this young lady updated where you are, because what I don't want to do is for, a fine accrue. That doesn't help anybody, but I also want to make sure that we stay on top of this and try to get this fixed. So I'm going to find that the property is in violation, 60 days to comply, or a fine of $100 per day. So please continue to cooperate and communicate with Officer Laracy as far as what's going on, okay?
No problem.
Okay, thanks for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Okay, the next case, I think, is one property and apparently 2 cases. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
2776 Faison, DEL 22096 and 22095. So just give me a second to get there. Okay, we've got permit issues. Pools and fences. Pools and sheds. Let's go forward first with 22095, which is a shed issue. This is DEL 22095, property address 2776 Faison Circle, and permit for shed. City ready to proceed.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer.
Ma'am, if you could speak a little bit closer into the microphone so that it's recording properly, and I was having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, sorry. My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-095, the City of Deltona versus Mark Shuckwit. The property address is 2776 Faison. The parcel ID number is 813043350080. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest section of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any gas, electrical, mechanical, plumbing system, the installation of which regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make the application to the building official and obtain the required permit. The corrective action for said violation is to obtain a permit for the shed. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of the city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, and the code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed at the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated based on a complaint. The initial contact was made on February 6, 2022. I spoke with the resident about the need for a permit for the structure. On February 16th, a notice of violation was posted to the property. The property remains in violation today. Regular contact with the resident has been made throughout the duration of this case. The city would like to request 120 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So let me understand, is there a picture of the shed, or you could show me where the...
So the shed is what that pin is pointing to.
Got it. So it's there, it's already built.
Yeah.
And why does it need a permit? Under our code, why does that shed need a permit?
It is on the easement.
So this gentleman's going to need to go into the building department and apply for a permit?
Yes.
Okay. And you believe that 120 days is more than sufficient for the gentleman to come in and do that?
Yes, well, he is waiting on a survey.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And that's part of the reason for the 120 days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I have a copy of the survey.
Okay, we'll get there in just a second. All right, so your name, sir?
Mark Shuckwit.
Okay, you're the property owner?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm hearing the city say is that seems like a pretty straightforward matter. We've got a shed out there, it needs a permit. You're working with them to try to get that permit. They're saying as long as we're continuing to work, we'll probably get to the right place at the right time, 120 days. I don't want to impose a fine. Do you have any concerns about where we are?
No, I moved here. I've been here since 1997. We only had 2 houses on the whole street. Back then, one of my buddies worked for the county. I said, do I need a permit to build a shed? He said, no, any shed less than 200 square foot. It was under Florida statute. I don't have the statute number. You didn't need a permit. But I've probably added on and done some stuff to it. It's probably a little bit bigger than 200 square foot now. And I got a survey company coming because we went to get a permit to a permit office. My wife went down. I said, go get permits. And they said, we can't do a permit until you hire a survey company to survey the whole property.
Okay.
So I retained a survey company. And of course, like everything else, we're backlogged.
Oh, yeah.
So as soon as the survey company comes in, I mean, it's okay. But I want these guys to come out and tell me, because I have an above-ground pool. I didn't think I needed a permit for it.
Yeah, we're getting there next.
I know. And so anyway, yeah, I put the pool up, but because I thought it was removable. But I'm probably jumping the gun on the pool thing. But
let's talk about the shed right now. What I'm most concerned about, I don't want to set up anybody for failure. So what I'm hearing is 120 days seems reasonable to me. Do you have a problem with 3 months for you to go?
I have no problem getting the permit. The only problem is if if the city says, hey, that shed is junk, it's got to go, I mean, I got to take it down. So that's another process.
Your Honor, if I may interject.
Just give me your name for the record.
Ron Paradise, Community Services for the
Yes, sir.
record. I'm sorry, sir. It appears that just from the aerial photo, and I can't say definitively, but there's going to be encroachment into the yard setbacks, and it's going to probably necessitate a move or reconfiguration of the shed to comply with those setbacks. We'll ferret all that out when the survey becomes available.
What is, if I were to say in an order that 120 days for compliance, what does that mean for this gentleman? To get the permit or to get the permit and, if necessary, move the shed?
I think to get the permit and necessary move the shed, because the city's not going to issue a permit if it encroaches into the yard setbacks.
Okay, so we're talking, that's why I'm asking. So 120 days, not just to get the permit, potentially that's all it would be, potentially. But what I'm hearing is it's going to be a little bit more than that. And that is that because of the location, your good buddy, back in the day, you know, what do we do without our good buddies, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, it may need to be moved. And so what the
Yeah,
city's saying is 3 months.
Yeah, my question was, and I really need to talk to these guys, like,
Yep, you
if I
do.
take the structure and I fix it and make it off the easement, it's actually like 2 foot over the easement if you start taking a measuring tape and figure
Right.
it out. And if I took the shed, if it was okay, and I made it 2 foot smaller, would the city say that's okay? As long as the shed is in, you know, good shape, I guess.
We can talk.
Okay.
So I'm going to find that the property, and we got an issue here. I'm going to find 120 days is a good chunk of time for you to get together with the city and try to get this resolved. I think you can resolve it in 120
I have no problem.
Okay. Because the last thing I want to do is impose a fine, but that, again, you've been sitting here, you've heard me, that's all the power I have. So it'd be 120 days to comply or $50 per day fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
So let's move forward with the next case, and that's DEL 22096, and this is your pool, which I don't need to have pointed out to me. I can see your pool. She's going to go,
I'm sorry,
first. We have to, for the record, we have to go through this.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-096, the City of Deltona versus Mark Shuckwit. The property address is 2776 Faison Circle. The parcel ID number is 8130433500080. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, or remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system in the installation of which regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall first make application to the building official and obtain the permit. The corrective action for said violation is you must obtain a permit for the pool. Applications must be submitted to the City of Deltona, 2345 Providence Boulevard, Deltona, Florida, 32725. The structure must meet all requirements of the city ordinance and be approved on final inspection. Contact our office with the permit number when obtained. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated due to a complaint. Initial contact was made on December 19th, 2021, and discussed with the resident about the needs for the permit for the pool. On December 7th, a notice of violation was posted to the property. The property remains in violation today. Regular contact with the resident has been made throughout the duration. The city would like to request 120 days for the property to come into compliance. or a fine of $50 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, let's ferret this out a little bit, kind of like we did with the shed. So this is an existing pool.
Yeah, it was there
You know-
for like 10 years.
Right. And 120 days includes not just applying for the permit, but then dealing with whatever the consequences are once you apply for the permit. So let me ask Mr. Paradise. I come in, I've got an application to get a building permit for that pool. Again, worst case scenario, what could happen to me?
Based on what I see on the aerial photos here, the worst case scenario is, again, there's encroachment, but this one gives me, a little bit more comfort just from the eyeball in the aerial photo, but I can't say definitively. Like I said, we can ferret that out. I think what you're going to see the building office being really interested in is the electrical connections and so forth, and probably some of the engineering specifications behind the pool.
Okay, safety issues. Okay. See, what I'm trying to get at is the issue of whether the 120 days is enough. So worst case scenario, let's say that they go out there, they issue you, they receive your application, they come out, they look at it, and they say, okay, we've got some concern about the way the plumbing is hooked up or the electrical's hooked up. So what are we looking at realistically for this gentleman to go out and hire whoever he needs to hire to fix those things?
I think part of the challenge, based on the age of this structure, is trying to authenticate exactly what the specifications on it are. And, I think 120 days would be adequate for him to potentially, hire an engineer or some building professional to certify the standards and specifications between the pool.
Okay. All right, sir, I just needed to flesh that out. What do you have to say?
I bought the pool from Pinch a Penny, right? The old pool rotted away, so I replaced it with another pool. I mean, I guess I should have got a permit for that too, but I can get the blueprints for the pool from Pinch a Penny. So give me the blueprints, so when you guys look at it, you'll know that, hey, it's okay.
Well, that would probably cut the time off quite a bit if you already have that, is what I'm hearing.
I think I'll be able to get it, yeah.
Okay. Okay, what I'm hearing is that the property does need to do some things to come into compliance. I'm going to say the 120 days at this point in time is fair for you to come in.
It's fair for me, but if I have a problem, my question is, if I can't get it done in 120 days, we have to come to another hearing to maybe...
Probably.
Once I show the progress from contractor,
but I mean, you've
whatever I
heard
have
how
to
we
do.
do this tonight. I mean,
that's fine.
if you don't do anything for 120 days, then you probably will not like what I'm going to tell you.
I've already cleaned the shed out.
Pardon me?
I've already cleaned the shed out.
Right.
I've already got stuff out of there, so I don't know. Whatever happens, I'm
But I
getting
mean,
ready.
if you're working with the city and we're trying to get this in compliance, then we're a team, and I'm not going to hurt my teammates, but
No, sir.
at least that's my philosophy.
No,
So,
sir. I have no problem. No problem.
All right. 120 days to come compliance or a fine of $50 per day. So I think the best thing for both of these cases is if you could get in sooner rather than later to meet with these folks, so
Yes.
you know where you are.
Yes.
Okay?
The 120 is like worst case. I think if once the survey
I
plans come in.
think you're right. I think you're right.
I'll give her a copy of the survey thing.
I can't speak to that. I mean, that's up to the...
All it shows is I've obtained a survey company, and they gave me a time that they're going to come out and survey that.
Okay.
You don't need that, but the permit department will.
Okay, the next case is 22107, 1727 Barrow Street, 22107.
Judge, excuse me. Can I ask you a question? I have a neighbor, okay, and the neighbor is constantly, this is the guy that's called. It's irrelevant to what we're talking about?
But that's beyond the scope of what I'm here for this evening.
Okay.
Yep. They do not pay me enough for that.
I know, because it's kind of using code enforcement as a weapon, so.
I can guarantee you that.
Thank you.
Okay, DEL 22107, 1727 Barrow Street. This is a public nuisance. Officer, of course.
My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona's Code and Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 22-107, City of Deltona versus Rosa A. Wilda Palau. The property address is 1727 Barrow Street, Deltona, Florida. The parcel ID number is 813-053-070-020. This is City of Deltona Ordinance Section 37-10, Housing Code, on blighted housing code violation. Violations, excuse me, which states that all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared a public nuisance, the abatement of which pursuant to the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. Statutory requirements for this notification and hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed of the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted on the property and at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the code board clerk. I certify that all the photographs be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. This case began June of 2021 when there was a fire at this residence. The property was promptly boarded up, I'm assuming by the insurance company. On June 23rd, 2021, I posted the property in regards to doors and windows being in disrepair because that's what I could see. On August 21st, I received an email from a management company, and they stated they're in the process of attaining legal access, but they didn't have legal access to the property. They were, and to my knowledge, all the way up to currently mowing the property, and they also re-maintained the boards. And a young lady that I received emails from and phone calls from was really good about communication. It's why we let the property go on as long as it has. They've been trying to gain access to the property to either rehab it or demolish it. On December 9th, I received an email from her, though, stating that the company probably wasn't going to be able to get it, and she was wondering if the city could do the demo. And I informed her that it would be in the best interest of the property owner financially to have them do it. On February 2022, I called the management company. This time, I was given a different person's voicemail, and as of then, there has been no communication from the management company. So on March 31st, I prepared certified mailings and posted the property for the blight given to the 21st to come into compliance. The blight being that now it's become a possible haven for vagrants and attraction, a dangerous attraction for children and the citizens. The property, I guess, was financed or refinanced the year before. It was foreclosed on and then refinanced, and I sent a fax to Freedom Mortgage Company, who it appears now holds the note, to let them know what was going on with the property. The city was requesting a period of 30 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of $250 a day, because we figured we were going to be heading towards demolition of this property ourselves. However, I was contacted by a gentleman, David Potnick, who's here, and he represents Sand Dollar Realty Group, and I guess they have a vested interest, and he would like to address you and possibly let them know what they could do with the property.
Yes, sir. Your name?
David Aponic, 945 North Union Circle.
What is your relationship to this property, sir?
I was assigned the property yesterday through a property management company, Covis.
And what is your role with your assignment? Your assignment of what?
Assigned the property to list the property and sell it. Currently, as I said, I just received the assignment yesterday, and I went through the record. The property did sell at public auction on the 19th of this month for $19.22, and we're currently waiting for the certificate of title to be issued before the management company can move forward with any type of further preservation.
What is your understanding of the current owner?
The current owner
In other words, who was the successful buyer at the foreclosure sale?
The successful buyer was the plaintiff, Freedom Mortgage Corporation.
Okay, so the bank owns the property or will own the property upon the issuance of the certificate of title?
Correct.
Okay, and your office has been retained to market the property on behalf of the new owner of the bank?
Yes.
Got it. So Mrs. Palau does not own the property anymore?
when this, she will no longer own the property when the certificate of
Is
title
it
is
vacant?
issued. Excuse me?
Yes, sir, it's been vacant, and I exhausted every means to try to get hold of Mrs. Plow. There actually was a bite case on a firefighter in connection with this, and so we had a telephone number from there. It is not working now, and none of my postings and none of my certified mailings have received any response from the actual owner.
So let me ask this favor, sir. If you could give your contact information to Officer Brockow.
I have.
He has.
Including and when your client or you receives a certificate of title,
It'll be
you
the
would
20.
provide that to the city, please.
Yes.
Because then they'll know who, confirmation that your client owns the property.
Yes.
Okay. So what is it that you are the agent for the owner? And
To
you are a
request-
realtor?
Yeah, I am a realtor. To request a delay in the imposition of any fines, just so that we can, first of all, clean the property out.
Tell me what it is, your understanding of the owner's intent with regard to this property.
The owner's intent, I can't say with certainty right now. It'll be either to repair the property, demolish the property, or market the property in as-is condition. And I was going to ask for a 90-day delay.
Well, the city is interested in this public safety. This is getting to the point where this is not just unsightly. This is just not an appearance issue. This has been out there for a while, and what I'm hearing from the sworn testimonies, we're dealing with some public safety issues. So you've given some options, some of which could be timely, some of which could take a while, and I'm less inclined to, I'm not going to let this hang out there for a long period of time for the bank to be able to choose which one they think they can make the most money at the potential expense of the neighborhood, the neighbors, and the safety of the community out there. So the city has indicated that they would like for me to enter an order that the property owner have 30 days to comply. Now, comply means tear it down. Or what does that mean?
Or obtain a permit and start repairs.
Well, let's all look at this photograph. These photographs for a second. Is that going to happen?
In 30, well, a demolition in 30 days.
We're all adults here. I mean,
Yeah,
can you-
a demolition in 30 days would be not a problem. To try to rehab a house like that, obviously it's going to take longer, but then.
You're a realtor, sir. I'm looking for this owner's sworn testimony today. Are you going to recommend to your client that they go and try to make this house marketable, this structure marketable?
No, I would, my recommendation would be either to demolish it or just market it in as-is condition. Of course, fully disclosing to any potential buyer that there is this open case on it and they need to start moving forward on repairs right away.
Because what I'm hearing the city say is that there's different courses here, different tracks. And one of them I'm in charge of, and that is to provide a specific date for compliance or a fine to be imposed. But and this is beyond my scope, but they also have nuisance abatement process in the city of Deltona where they could send out a different kind of notice to the bank. It's called a notice of remedy, where they could just say, we're going to go out and we're going to take this house down. If you won't, then we'll send you the bill for it. I don't have any control over that. They may or may not do that. My concern, as you've heard me this evening, is for the safety of the community and for compliance. So if your client follows your advice, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to either tear that house down or they're going to market it as is. So let's say that you recommend those two options, sir, and they choose the latter. Tell me how that's going to work out. Tell me how that works out in real time.
In real time, as I said before, first they have to do is to clean out the property, then list it in MLS. Buyer would put the property under contract, have a certain number of days to close, and at that point, it would be, the buyer would be responsible for bringing the property into
Right. So then here we are, the city, having to deal with all that happens, and we still have a property out there that needs to come down.
I would ask for a delay of any position for 90 days, just because to wait for the certificate of title to be issued so that any things that they want to do.
When was the certificate of sale issued?
The certificate of sale was issued on the 19th.
Normally, it's 10 days after that, the certificate of title is issued.
Yeah.
So today's the 27th, so you should have the certificate of title by the end of this week.
Certificate of title will be issued. We have to wait for it to be recorded.
Excuse me?
We have to wait for it to be recorded.
Understood.
Yeah.
But that'll happen within the next week.
Yes.
Okay. At that point in time, you are the title owners, and you can do with this property, your client
My client, yes.
can do whatever you want to do with this property. So you're here today really asking for a little bit more than the 30 days.
Correct.
What is the city's position on that?
The city's position is we want the property to be brought into compliance, and if the special magistrate sees fit to allow extra time, the city is fine with that.
All right, I'm going to give you 45 days. I'm a little uncomfortable, and it's not because of you, it's just that in what I do for a living, I know that when you've got probably an out-of-state client, and they've got someone that's have files about up to here on their desk, this is just this one right here. It's not going to be their top priority. It's not going to be their big concern that the house looks like this, because they don't live next to this.
Right.
So you can be trying real hard, sir, to do your job real well, but the person that really controls the outcome in this case is not here tonight. And that's who I'm concerned about, because they ultimately will tell you what to do.
Correct.
So I'm going to give you 45 days to comply, or a fine of $250 per day, which is a pretty good chunk of money. So if that helps you, let me put it this way, maybe that'll help you catch the attention of your client. That this tonight happened, this is the order that's going to be entered, and if they could give their prompt attention to it, to making their decision. Because 45 days is not going to be a lot of time to come into compliance if they just want to sit on this and try to sell it as is. Because this will be, this is an order that will go with the property. You'll be obligated to disclose this as sellers under Florida law.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, 45 days to bring the property into compliance.
Okay.
Or demolish.
Correct, right.
And as far as bringing into compliance, can that be the process of repairing has started, permits have been started to be pulled? I've been inside the property. It would take far longer than 45 days
Understand
to
that. Right.
repair it.
I mean, as long as they're moving forward with pulling permits and doing that,
Yeah, the permits get pulled and the property's kept secure.
you can find a contractor that's willing to do that. In today's market, God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my order. Thank you, sir, for being here this evening.
Thank you. Good luck with that.
Okay. Next is DEL 22071. This is a Massey case. (2870) Valmont Lane, having to do with plumbing. Is he ready to proceed?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up the pictures, I'm sorry.
Of course.
What's left?
Wow.
My photos they went to the wrong case, excuse me.
Do you have
The first.
hard copies?
I do.
You need to make sure that the property owner has the opportunity to review those before they're provided.
These
to you.
are the tenants.
Okay.
That's the only one that's not part of the property, but all the other ones are.
Okay. Well, let's proceed. This is a Massey case.
Okay. My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 22-071, the City of Deltona versus Pine Vest Properties. The property address is 2870 Valmont Lane. The parcel ID number is 813043420010. The statutory requirements for the notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true, accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled that on February 23rd, 2022, that the property owner was given 7 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 7 days and have been receiving a fine of $250 a day since March 3rd, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $13,750 over 55 days. The city is requesting that the fine continues at $250 per day.
Okay, let me make sure I understand where we are. The folks that are here this evening do not own the property.
No, we're not.
You're the ones that have to put up with this nonsense.
We were the ones that we spoke to last time, and you said that you were going to probably foreclose on this property, and I had told you, I was like, I know that the fine is something that you use to get people to move, but I mean, I didn't think that this was going to happen because he had 3 years to do this, and slowly it deteriorated into this, and I don't know if you remember.
Sir, you need to give me your name, please.
Jermaine Favre, Jermaine, Germain.
And you are the tenant.
We were the tenant.
Oh, you no longer live there?
No, he avoided the city, he avoided the health department, he acted like pretty much turned a blind eye, like if this doesn't exist, and then he went over to the courthouse in DeLand and filed an eviction for non-payment because we were told by the health department to withhold the rent because,
right.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I can't address some of the civil
I know.
wrongs that may or may not have occurred in this particular matter.
Yes, sir.
My bells and whistles are going off in my head, but I'm not your attorney. That's for you with another forum. With that said, what I'm hearing you say and the city say is the property remains in noncompliance, that the property owner failed to bring the property in compliance by the deadline that we all set together in the last time we were here. So there's a fine of $13,750 that is going to accrue as of today, with the fine continuing at $250 per day. Has there been any communication, Taylor, with this property owner?
I have not made any contact with the property owner.
Okay.
He seems to not make contact with any of you guys, but he sure knows how to get to the DeLand courthouse.
Earlier today, I actually did drive by the property. I was able to speak to a neighbor. I asked them if the tenants were still living there. He said no, but he did tell me that the property owner, I guess he told him, I don't have it in writing, I guess he told him that he was going to fix it next week, which means he was aware of it and hasn't made contact with me.
Okay. Well, I'm going to enter an order. Today's order is different than the last ones. What this does is it actually quantifies. It makes a finding that the property did not comply. And it's going to impose the fine. We gave him the chance. Didn't comply. So now there's a fine that's going to be imposed, and we're going to record a copy of this, and it'll act as a lien on the property. And then, interesting, and this is not my decision, but the city can proceed if they wish after recording the lien. After 90 days from the time the lien is recorded, because this is not homestead property, and if it's listed as homestead, then that's a totally different issue for your city attorney to look into. But I don't know how it could be. It's a tenancy. So then it can be foreclosed. This code enforcement lien can be foreclosed. So none of that helps you.
Yeah, you know, trust
I'm
me,
sorry about
that's, we're not here because of us, we're here so that way,
understand
you
that.
know.
So
I mean, we
this
got screwed out, so I mean.
I understand that. That's what I'm hearing loud and clear. But this process is working the way, it's slow, but it's working the way it's supposed to be working. So in other words, this is almost the hearing time right after the failure of the deadline.
Okay.
The city didn't wait another 2 months before it came back asking for my help. So we're going to have this order. It's going to be entered. I'll sign it. It'll be recorded. And then it's a lien. And then there's a required waiting period by the Florida state statutes in this process. And then the city attorney will then make a decision. I'm not the city attorney. Will make a decision whether to request that my permission, which is what the statute says, to allow the city attorney to initiate foreclosure.
Okay, thank you. I
So
appreciate
that's what we can do. There are other jurisdictions that can do other things, but that's all I can do within my powers under
No,
the statute.
I really appreciate it.
You
Thank
bet. Well, I'm sorry you all had to go through it. Sounds horrible. Sounds horrible. But you're probably better off, quite frankly, starting fresh somewhere.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I really
thanks.
appreciate it.
I hope things are going better for you.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You bet. Okay. We have two cases, same property, DEL 21134 and DEL 21137. They're both Massey cases, and this is 2916 Fish Cove.
My
Hang on
name is
just a second, Officer Larici, let me get to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Please proceed. We're going to do 21134 on 2916 Fish Cove Court, permit for pool deck.
Thank you, sir. My name is Marion Larici. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This is a Massey case in reference to DEL 21-134, City of Deltona versus Anne Marie D. Fuller. Property address is 2916 Fish Cove Court. Parcel ID number is 813-040-400-240. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation of sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled September 22nd, 2021. The property owner was given 90 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 90 days and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since December 22nd, 2021. This case was heard in January 26th. They were given 30 days to comply with a hold of fines. As of today, the property is still not in compliance. The property has accrued a total fine of $3,150 over 126 days. Requesting that fines continue at $25 a day until compliance have been met.
Is there anyone here on this property?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Next case is DEL 21137. Again, it's another Massey case. This is a permit for the pool.
My name is Marion Larici. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to a Massey case, reference DL 21-137, City of Deltona versus Anne Marie D. Fuller. Property address is 2916 Fish Cove Court. Parcel ID is 813-040-400-240. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation have been sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers. In addition, both notices were posted 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be accurate portrayals of the photos of the evidence I've been taken that day. Again, ruled September 22nd, 2021, property owner was given 30 days to comply. Owner did not come into compliance and has been receiving a fine of $25 a day since October 23rd, 2021. The case was heard January 26th. An extension of 30 days was given with the fine to be held. As of today, the property is still in violation, so therefore the property is 187 days in violation, with a total fine of $4,675.
Let me make sure I have that right. 4,600 and what?
$75.
75.
City would request the fines to continue $25 per day until compliance has been met.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
We have one more property owner here?
No, sir. Oh, this one will be, yes.
This one right here?
Yes, sir. Amadon.
Okay, this is DEL case 21169. It's a Massey case. Property address 802 Amadon Street, Deltona, Florida. Have to do with exterior surfaces. It's a Massey case. City ready to proceed?
Yes, city's ready. My name is Steve Brockhoff. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This is case number DEL 21-169. It's a Massey case. The address is 802 Amadon Street, owner Van Johnson. This case was heard on the 23rd of February 2022. An order was signed giving 21 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day until the property comes into compliance. The property is still in violation from March 16th to April 27th, total of 43 days at $50 a day, for a total fine of $2,150. I was by the property this morning and took another picture. Now the front has been repaired, but the sides still have not been repaired. The owners and the residents there have stated that the person they had helping them, I believe from their church, can't do the sides for some reason, and she was requesting more time.
Okay, the property is identified as Van Johnson. So who is asking you for more time? Officer?
Oh, I'm sorry, it was the sister. Apparently her brother is, I guess, in a wheelchair, is that?
Me?
Oh, no, she told me, okay, are you Van?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, great. No, she said that you couldn't be here for some reason.
Oh, no.
Okay.
My sister's in a wheelchair, maybe you missed.
Oh, okay. I
All right, let's
stand
go
corrected.
ahead. So, Ms. Johnson, let me tell you a little bit what we're here for tonight. There's already been an order entered which said that there was a period of time in which this property needed to be brought up to speed, compliant with the code. That time has passed, so tonight is just a matter of finding out why not and how much fine to be imposed and what are your circumstances right now. So if you could tell me your name for the record, please, and then I want to hear what you have to say.
Okay, my name is Van Johnson, and I have a Parkinson's-like condition, and I would have done the work myself with the painting if I was able to. And so that's why we had fortunately gotten some church people from my sister's church to paint what I thought was the complete code violation, the front of the house. And it looks pretty nice. From what my sister said, she's the one who has a telephone right now, so she relays information to me about this also.
Well, let's have the pictures. Is there a picture of the house which shows the work that has been done and shows the work that still needs to be done? Is that it?
Yes. Whoever did the front did a very good job. They even painted the garage door. This particular picture doesn't show, but they have since painted the front door. And then
So what
this whole
still needs
area
to be
here is I'm sorry, what?
What still needs to be done?
The dormers here on the side, because they're exposed, the wood is exposed, and that needs to be protected from the elements. There appears to be possible rot or mold along the edges, and that's on both sides that are visible.
Okay. So both sides of the house?
Yes.
Okay. So that's where we are, Mr. Johnson. What do you have to say as far as what you think you can do there?
Well, my sister was trying to get churches cold calling and trying to find one that would, because the man who did it with her church said he didn't want to do it anymore for whatever reason. He thought that that was a complete violation for what was in the front.
Right.
And because my sister misunderstood it somehow.
Okay.
And so when I was talking to him about it, I said, I think she might have misunderstood that. And I said, if she didn't, could you do the sides? And he indicated he didn't want to do that. I don't know if it was that he didn't believe me or what the problem was.
Have you looked into any other options at this point in time to get this remedied? As far as hiring someone?
The problem is I have no money because I'm on disability. After I pay my mortgage, I have about $60 left for everything. So that's so much the problem financially in hiring someone. And so that's why we did it with the church. And,
Sure.
And so when I talked to the man from the church when he first came there, he said that he indicated that he would do all the top wood part that's not coated with paint. But then, for some reason, he kind of changed his mind,
No, I
it
get
seemed,
it.
also later on.
What's the city's position where we are right now?
I believe my director wants to say something.
Mr. Reichman, Richard Lovett. I think with the new information that has been presented to us tonight, I would feel more comfortable. Let's continue with this case. I've got some different organizations I can reach out to try and get the help, to get him the help to get this done. So we'll try and do that. So I'd rather continue it instead of putting a fine on him.
How long?
Let's continue it for 60 days because it's going to take some time to get those organizations put together and get that help over to them.
Okay. All right. Please help us help you. I know that's a cliche.
Yeah.
But seriously, the more you communicate with the city, they're trying to do the right thing here.
Yes, and I didn't know that a fine was put on me already. With the paper that I read, it said that if I don't get it done before that date, that a fine might be
I
imposed.
could enter a fine today of $2,150. I'm not sure that that accomplishes anything. The city recognizes that, is what I'm hearing, and they're willing to work with you. But again, I recognize your financial limitations, but at the end of the day, it's their job and our job to make sure that the code is in compliance. Because we have to answer to people further up the ladder to make sure that we systematically and uniformly and fairly go about enforcing the codes. So at some point in time, the rubber will hit the road, and we'll have to enter an order. So we can't just keep not doing anything.
Oh, I understand.
Okay?
that. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want you to understand, there will be a day of reckoning, but the city's willing to try to help you avoid that.
Okay, I was just wondering about that. It said that if it doesn't meet the code by that date, that a fine will be imposed. It didn't say anything about a fine before that, unless I misunderstood.
That's what that was tonight is about, and that is to determine whether a fine is appropriate at this time.
Oh, I see.
So that's what I would have done tonight. But you're here. If you hadn't been here tonight, if no one had been here, there'd be a fine, and that would be a Massey order, which would say that the property owner is $2,150. But you're here. And because you're here, and we've heard what you've had to say, listen to it, understand it, then we're going to continue the case for 60 days.
Okay.
So please work with Officer Lovett, all right?
Okay, what do I do?
Since your sister has haven't been contacted,
Oh. Okay, give you a good phone number, were you saying?
No, I'll give you one card, you can have her contact. She's called.
Thank you, sir.
Your sister is called. Yeah, so just have her call me, so I have a good.
Take a recess for about, folks, we're going to take a recess for about 1 minute, okay?
You know where that's at, sir?
Yeah. Fantastic. Thanks, Richard. I really appreciate it. Okay, we have two cases, same property, 22009, 22010, both Massey cases, property address 2857 Bluestone Drive. We'll start with 22009.
Thank you, sir. My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be a Massey case in reference to DL 22009, City of Deltona versus Catherine Beauliard, James Campanella. Property address is 2857 Bluestone. Parcel ID number is 813-063-280-040. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. It was ruled on January 26th that the property owner was given 7 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 7 days and has been receiving a fine of $200 a day since February 3rd, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $16,800 over 84 days. The city is requesting the fines continue at $200 per day until the violation is corrected.
Property still in violation?
Yes, sir.
Any communication from the owner?
No, sir.
Still looks exactly like that, huh?
Yes.
It's a vacant property?
Yes, sir.
Is there a safety issue out there?
That's my next case.
Okay. So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
22010 Massey, debris, same property address.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case in reference to DL 22-010, City of Deltona versus Catherine Beauliard and James Campanella. The property address of 2857 Bluestone. Parcel ID is 813-063-280-040. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior. All evidence in this case, including the photograph, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals that I observed the day they were taken. Again, it was ruled January 26, 2022, the property owner was given 7 days to comply. The owner has not come into compliance within those 7 days and receiving a $250 a day fine since February 3rd, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $21,000 over 84 days.
I mean, an even 21,000?
An even $21,000.
Okay.
The city is requesting the fines continue at $250 per day until the property is in compliance. The city is also requesting to move forward with abating the property due to the public nuisance become immediate health and safety matter for general public and immediate concerns for the surrounding properties.
Okay, my concern about your last request was I don't see anything in the notices that the gentleman or the property owner would know that that could happen tonight.
I'm sorry, what was that?
The notices are for a Massey hearing, but you're asking for more than that. They're asking me to enter an order that would authorize the city to immediately go out and initiate nuisance abatement. I'm not sure that the notices comply with that.
What do you need?
Mr. Reichman, we're just good with the go ahead and setting of the fine on this tonight. We're going to probably look at moving forward the foreclosure on these properties.
I'm sorry, say that again?
We're probably going to be looking at doing a foreclosure on these properties after the allotted time.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
I mean, we can proceed with nuisance abatement, it's just a different process under Chapter 162.
Correct.
Tonight, this was noticed only as a Massey hearing, and I don't want to go out there, again, I'm not your attorney, but I don't want you to go out there with some sort of order that I sign. It's defective, and then you get sued because you've trespassed on the gentleman's property. So I would suggest and request that you ask the city attorney about the appropriate process to go through immediate nuisance abatement, if that's the city's desire. Otherwise, I will enter the order requested.
Yes, you can enter the order requested, please.
Okay, will do. Done.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have a bunch of cases, all Shorecrest. I think it's all the same address, 941 Shorecrest. It's 22014, 015, 016, 035, and 036. Okay, let's start with 014.
My name is Marion Larissy, employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey hearing in reference to DEL 22014, City of Deltona versus Joseph Esquivel and Juan A. Esquivel. Property address of 941 Shorecrest. Parcel ID is 813-011-420-030. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day where they were taken. This was ruled January 26, 2022. The property owner was given 30 days to comply. Owner has not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. As of today, the property is still in violation. Property has accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days. City is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day until the property is in compliance. Excuse me.
So ordered, let me ask a couple follow-ups. Any communications from the owner?
Yes, I mean, I've been out there and he's says that he's working on it and there hasn't been any changes to the property.
Is owner occupied or is this a tenancy?
It's owner occupied.
Do you know if it's been listed as homesteaded?
Oh, I might have to check.
Property is homesteaded, but there's no power or water going to the house.
Say that?
There's no power or water going to the house, but it is homesteaded.
Okay, well, you've got all sorts of issues out there, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Good. You have a nuisance abatement process in the city?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm not in charge of that, but that is, cities that I work with, this is one of the things that they're looking at, to go out and, because here's my problem. I want to see this fixed up for the community, for their neighbors. But I'm going to be doing a signing order, which is going to impose a fine. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be a lien, which will accrue, but we can't foreclose. So what really, from a standpoint of fixing that, it doesn't give you really, that court order doesn't give you any, excuse me, that special magistrate order doesn't fix that. It just has a running fine, which is nice, but when it gets to be $150,000 and that property still looks like that, then it doesn't do you. So again, beyond my pay grade, but I would respectfully suggest that you get with your city attorney's office to initiate the process for nuisance abatement with a notice of remedy.
So just so Your Honor is aware, you did give us, and forego, we did do a nuisance abatement for the debris and everything last year, and we did that and moved forward. He has, as you can tell, brought more stuff back in there now.
You're gonna have to do this on an annual basis.
And we are moving forward with putting that bill on his non-ad valorem taxes.
Right, that's how you get repaid, and we're basically his private garbage man. It's unfortunate, but for the community, I mean, if you didn't have this process, if you didn't have nuisance abatement, you'd have to just tell the neighbors, well, you got bad luck moving in next to this guy. So be grateful that the council commission approved this. Okay, so ordered. Next is 22015, again, another Massey hearing, same property address.
Thank you,
This one
sir.
has to do with exterior services.
Yes. My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed with the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case in reference to 22015, City of Deltona versus Joseph Esquivel and Juan A. Esquivel. Property address is 941 Shorecrest. Parcel ID is 813-011-420-030. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case has been submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I've taken the day of. Again, it was ruled January 26, 2022, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. Owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. Property is still in violation and has accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days.
I'm sorry, how many days?
61. And the city is requesting the fines to continue at $50 a day until compliance is met.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
This case is DEL 22016. Same property. Permit.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case in reference to DEL 22016, City of Deltona versus Joseph Esquivel and Juan A. Esquivel. Property address is 941 Shorecrest. Parcel ID is 813-011-420-030. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by notice of hearing, notice of violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraisers. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs of marked exhibits, and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. Case was ruled January 26, 2022. Owner was given 30 days to comply. Owner has not come into compliance. Property is still in violation. There is no permits for any of the sheds on the property. He's been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. As of today, it's been 61 days, totaling $3,050. City is requesting that the fines continue at $50 a day until the compliance is met.
So ordered. Next case is DEL 22001, I'm sorry, DEL 22035. We got somehow separated out here. Same property address, though.
This property, he's actually come into compliance. Did you still need me to read?
Okay, these are two Massey cases, so is the city not seeking to pursue a Massey order on 22035 and 2236?
35, which is the fence in disrepair.
Okay.
He's come into compliance, and I think we talked about having no fines.
If the city is not wishing to impose a fine, then it'd be as simple as a dismissal.
Okay.
So for the record, I'm going to receive the city's
Dismiss, yes.
request for dismissal.
Thank you.
And that's 22035. What about 22036?
Shed in disrepair is still in violation. We'll continue with that one.
Say what now?
The shed in disrepair is still in violation. We'll continue
So we're
with
going
that
to
one.
proceed with that one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Please go forward.
Marion Laracy, I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This will be a Massey case, number DEL 22014. City of Deltona versus Joseph Esquivel and Juan A. Esquivel. Property address is 941 Shorecrest. Parcel ID is 813-011-420-030. Statutory requirements for this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals on the day they were taken. This case was ruled January 26, 2022. Property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days, has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. As of today, the property is still in violation and has accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $50 per day until compliance is met.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we got on there multiple party here. Bunch of Massey's. This is 1275 Walton Avenue, 22017, 018, and 019. Wow. Are you the only one that they hire here in the city? I'm ready when you are.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to Massey case DL 22017, City of Deltona versus John Walter Boyles. Property address is 1275 Walton Avenue. Parcel number is 813-067-050-110. Statutory requirements of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of the photographs to be taken that day. It was ruled January 26, 2022. The property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner has not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. As of today, the property is still in violation and has accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days. I spoke to the reporting party. The shed's still in violation, and it's still encroaching on her property.
So ordered.
Thank you,
Fine
sir.
to continue. That was DEL 2217. Next case is DEL 22018. Same property address.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case number DEL 22018, City of Deltona versus John Walter Boyles. Property address is 1275 Walton Avenue. Parcel ID is 813-067-050-110. Statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of code violations sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. And I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayal of what I've taken the day of. Again, it was ruled January 26, 2022. The property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. Property is still in violation and has accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days. City is requesting the fines continue at $50 per day.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Next case on this property, last case on this property is DEL 22019.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is a Massey case in reference to DEL 22019, City of Deltona versus John Walter Boyles. Property address is 1275 Walton Avenue. Parcel ID is 813-067-050-110. Statutory requirements for this hearing have been met. By notice of hearing, notice of code violation has been mailed to the property address listed with property appraisers. In addition to both notices were posted at City Hall 10 days prior to this hearing. All evidence in this case, including photograph, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed the day they were taken. Again, ruled January 26, 2022. Property owner was given 30 days to comply. Compliance has not been met. Still receiving a fine of $50 a day since February 26, 2022. Property still in violation and accrued a total fine of $3,050 over 61 days. City is requesting the fine at $50 a day to continue until compliance has been met.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night doing that, dog and pony?
No.
Okay, now we've got three cases of the same property, 1299 Fountainhead. These are 22060, 22061, and 22062. Start with DEL 2260. More Massey's. It's Massey night.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 22060. The City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. The property address is 1299 Fountainhead. The parcel ID is 813010190030. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and the notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in the case, including the photographs, I have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 23rd, 2022, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 per day since March 26, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $3,300 over 33 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $100 per day.
So ordered. Enter the order for fine of $3,300 plus the 33 days plus the fine of $100 per day to continue. That's DEL 2260. Next case is 22061.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be case number DEL 22061, the City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. The property address is 1299 Fountainhead. The parcel ID is 813010190030. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's record. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 23rd, 2022, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 per day since March 26, 2022. As of today, the property owner has accrued a total fine of $3,300 over 33 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $100 per day.
So ordered. 2262, permit enclosed garage.
My name is Taylor Sukup. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This will be Massey case number DEL 22-062. The City of Deltona versus Vermont LLC. The property address is 1299 Fountainhead. The parcel ID number is 813010190030. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by The notice of hearing and notice of code violation sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photograph, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. It was ruled on February 23rd, 2022, that the property owner was given 30 days to comply. The owner did not come into compliance within those 30 days and has been receiving a fine of $100 per day since March 26, 2022. As of today, the property has accrued a total fine of $3,300 over 33 days. The city is requesting that the fines continue at $100 per day.
So ordered.
Thank you.
We are now on new business. Got a case 22085-1088 East Page. Property owner, TBR SRF. Swimming pool.
My name is Josimar Jimenez. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-085. The City of Deltona versus TBR SFR Orlando owner 1LP. Property address is 1088 East Page Drive, Deltona, Florida 32725. The parcel ID number is 813-055-260150. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code Section 303.1, which states that swimming pools shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition and in good repair. The corrective action for this violation is pool must be maintained and either drained of water or water must be chemically treated to remove algae. Water should be clear water and sanitized. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at the City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. On February 17, 2022, I received a complaint from a reporting party about a pool that is black in color on 1088 East Page Drive, Deltona, Florida. As I came to the property, I noticed the pool in the backyard. It did have a metal chain-like fence around it, not secured. Both entry doors were open, but I was able to secure it at the time by closing the latches to both entrances of the pool. I noticed the pool was half full of black water in color. The home seemed vacant, so a notice of violation was posted same day on the property and sent per certified mail to the address listed from the property appraiser's office. As of today, there has been no changes to the property, still no compliance, and they have either refused or not received their certified mail. We have had no contact with the property owner as I attempted to reach out to them on April 20th, no answer. We left them messages We also informed them of the date today, and nothing. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until such time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So these photographs represent the condition of the property today.
Correct.
Is property vacant?
Yes.
Looks like it's owned by an investor.
Yes. It's owned by a company in Orlando, but I haven't been
No
able to.
management company contact?
No.
Okay, I'm going to find that the property remains in violation and give them 48 hours to comply, or a fine in the amount of $250 per day. And the reason is because that's an attractive nuisance for children, and that could be a horrible tragedy. That is, all they need to do is drain that pool.
Correct.
So that's what I'm ordering. 48 hours to comply, or a fine of $250 per day.
Thank you.
And I would respectfully suggest that the city staff may want to get with your city attorney or city manager to go out and take a look at doing an immediate notice of remedy issue on that with a very short fuse. But that's up to you all. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that you can read about in the paper the next morning.
Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we've got a bunch of tulip cases, 4 of them, starting with 22087. And it is 087, 088, 089, and 90. And the first one is roof and flashing for the property at 779 Tulip Street.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 2287, the City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Mars. The property address is 779 Tulip. The parcel ID number is 813-0034-30190. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, which is adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.7, which states the roof and flashing shall be sound, tight, and not have defects that admit rain. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace the roof, gutters, or drainage. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated as a proactive case, and the initial violation was observed on March 8th, 2022, and a notice of violation was posted. Contact was made with the residents and the property owner. They were both informed of all the violations present at that time. On April 6th, the notice of hearing was posted at the residence. No further contact has been made. The property remains in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
So ordered. That's case 22087. Next case is 22088. Public nuisance.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I am employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22088. This is a repeat case. The City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Mars. The property address is 779 Tulip Street. The parcel ID number is 813-0034-30190. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance Section 37-10, public nuisance, which states all blighted and distressed real properties are hereby declared to be public nuisances, the abatement of which pursuant to the police power is hereby declared to be necessary for the health, welfare, and safety of the residents of the city. Corrective action for said violation is to dispose of properly or store all the items inside an enclosed building. The statutory requirements for notification of this hearing have been met by
The notice of hearing and notice of code violations were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This is a repeat case. It's a chronic issue. It's been ongoing since 2008 with this history of the same violation, wherein the carport is filled with trash, furniture, and debris. The property comes into compliance for a short period of time following the special magistrate hearing and re-violates shortly after. The property was found in non-compliance in 2018 and an order was issued. This current case was initiated as a proactive case. The initial violation was observed on February 7th, 2022, and a courtesy door hanger was left at the residence. On March 8th, the property remained in violation, and the carport was filled with more furniture and boxes. Contact was made with the residents and the property owner. On April 6th, a notice of violation and a notice of hearing were posted at the residence. No further contact has been made. The city would like to request that a fine of $250 per day be imposed retroactively from the date the notice of violation was posted on April 6th until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
I do not see any notices in here of this being a repeat violation.
I have a copy of the previous case history with the notice of violation from
I'm
2018.
not saying it wasn't a previous violation. I just don't see the notices going to the property owner identifying this evening's hearing as the imposition of a repeat violation. That's my concern. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Okay, just for, this is what I'm going to say. I mean, I'm going to impose $250 per day. I can do that even if it's not a repeat violation. The issue is, can I do it retroactively? I'm disinclined to do that just because if you look at the, it does say at the top it's a repeat offender, but there's nothing in the body of the notice that specifically says that you were in violation of this previously. There was a special magistrate order that was entered previously. Therefore, under Florida law, you can be deemed to be a repeat offender with the fine up to $500 per day. If I'm going to enter an order, I'd like to have in the file a notice that goes into that level of detail for purposes of protecting the record. If someone were to challenge that order, the order imposing a fine of $500 maximum. So I'm going to find that it's in violation, $250 per day, and it's going to give them 48 hours to comply, or a fine to impose of $250 per day. So if y'all could just take a look at your notices for purposes of a repeat violation, I think you need more than just putting at the top repeat offender.
Yeah, we'll look at creating a new one just for repeat violators.
Yeah.
Just to make it clear, my understanding is you want it in the narrative.
In the notice of hearing, I think it would be very appropriate to spell out that the purpose of the hearing, in the notice of hearing, and that the purpose of the hearing tonight is to find them as in repeat violation under the statute, and then what that means. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor, we'll get that straight, we'll get that redone.
Again, this is a case where, whether you all want to pursue nuisance abatement or not, but I mean, if this is homesteaded property, it's the same situation we faced before. Okay, the next case is DEL 22089, same property address, exterior surfaces.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22-089, the City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Mars. The property address is 779 Tulip Street. The parcel ID number is 813-003430190. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 304.2, which states that all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors, door and window frames, cornices, porches, trim, balconies, decks, and fences, shall be kept in sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior wood surfaces other than decay-resistant woods shall be protected from the elements and decay by painting or other protective covering or treatment. corrective action for said violation is to repair or replace damaged exterior surfaces. The statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met by. The notice of hearing and notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated as a proactive case, and the initial violation was observed on March 8, 2022. A notice of violation was posted. Contact was made with the residents and the property owner. On April 6th, the notice of hearing was posted at the residence. No further contact has been made. The property remains in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Probably beating a dead horse here, but, you know, it's just a disaster. You haven't had any communication with the property owner. I'm not sure why we're giving him 30 days, just because it takes 30, you think it's going to take 30 days to property. You know, if they were sitting here today, would it take 30 days to bring this property into compliance for this violation?
For the walls, I don't believe it would take 30 days. I think they could do it in a shorter amount of time, honestly.
Okay, well, I'm going to give them 2 weeks, 14 days, or a fine of $100 per day.
Okay.
That's in 22089. Next case is 22090, accessory structure.
My name is Kristen Coulter. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a code compliance officer. This will be case number DEL 22090, the City of Deltona versus Elizabeth A. Mars. The property address is 779 Tulip Street. The parcel ID number is 8130034309190. This is a violation of the City of Deltona Ordinance, Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of the International Property Maintenance Code, Section 302.7, which states that all accessory structures, including detached garages, fences, and walls, shall be maintained and kept in good repair and sound structural condition. Corrective action for said violation is to repair or remove the structures. The statutory requirements for the notification of this hearing have been met by the notice of hearing, and the notice of code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with the property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior to this hearing. All of the evidence in this case, including the photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the special magistrate clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of what I observed on the day they were taken. This case was initiated as a proactive case, and the initial violation was observed on March 8, 2022. A notice of violation was posted. Contact was made with the residents and the property owner. On April 6th, the notice of hearing was posted at the residence. No further contact has been made.
If I could, ma'am, let me interrupt. So you keep saying in all these cases that contact was made with the property owners.
One time. I went by to post notices one time, and she happened to be
Tell me
home.
about that contact that you made with the property owners. What did they say? What did they tell you? I'm sure this was entertaining. So tell me. I want to get entertained.
They were very hostile. They gave me the finger and told me to F off multiple times.
Okay, that's
and that
what I
was the end of
expected to
that.
hear. Okay, that's what I expected to hear, but I wanted to have, I mean, if I'm dealing with people like that, I need to know that. If I'm dealing with people that are saying that, you know, they've got all these problems, they got health issues, they've got, they just moved here from Ukraine, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to understand context here. So, okay, so keep going with your case.
The property remains in violation. The city would like to request 30 days for the property to come into compliance, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed until such a time that the property owner has notified the city of compliance.
Okay, so this is a shed that's out there without a permit, or what's the violation?
There are 3 sheds actually in the backyard that are in disrepair. They're either rusty or the wooden one is falling apart.
I'm going to give them 7 days to comply,
Okay.
or a fine of $150 per day.
Thank you.
Do we know whether this is homesteaded?
I'm not sure.
Let's check on that. I mean,
What's
there's some of these that make sense for nuisance abatement, some of these that don't make sense for nuisance abatement. If it's not nuisance abatement and they're not homesteaded, then you've got a more clear route to getting what you need to do, because you could bring back the Massies.
Well, on this one here, because it will not be a homesteaded property, we could always look at foreclosure process too.
That's my point. So is this not a homestead?
Not, their address is in Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Okay. Well, someone was there that didn't like the process. Okay,
Good job, Chris.
thank you.
Thank you.
Next case is, we have 22, two at the same property, address 22098 and 22099, 1596 Canfield. You know, I probably would be home, but for you.
I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Vehicle parking.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DL 22098, City of Deltona versus Sandra L. Hughes. Property address is 1596 Canfield Terrace, Deltona. Parcel ID is 813-055-030-100. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 66-18E, which states no vehicles may be parked or stored in the front forward edge of the principal dwelling except on approved driveway or driveway extension. Statutory requirements for this notification of the hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice code violation were sent certified mail to the property owner listed with property appraiser's records. In addition to both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals the day that I took them. This is a proactive case that began January 2022. I noticed multiple vehicles parked improperly that were parked in the right-of-way or parked in the street or in the front yard on different occasions. Residents have been given multiple opportunities and options to either do a driveway extension or just park properly. As of today, the truck and the black car weren't there. The motorcycles are there now. It's just a continuous issue. Like 3 days for the property to come into compliance or a $25 per day fee until compliance is met. It's a rental property and the tenants that live there.
Okay, I'm going to find that the property does remain in violation. 3 days to comply or a fine of $25 per day, in this case 22098. We have one more case at this address, 22099, 1596 Canfield. Damaged exterior.
My name is Marion Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as a Code Compliance Officer. This is in reference to case number DL 22-099, City of Deltona versus Sandra L. Hughes. Property address is 1596 Canfield Terrace. Parcel ID is 813-055-030-100. This is in violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-5, adopting the latest edition of International Property Maintenance Code Section 304.2, which states that all exterior surfaces, including but not limited to doors, door and window frames, cornices, porches, trim, balconies, decks, and fences, shall be kept in sound working condition and maintained in good repair. Exterior wood surfaces, other than decaying resisting woods, shall be protected from the elements and decay by painting or other protective covering or treatment. Statutory requirements for this notification of this hearing have been met. Notice of hearing and notice of violation were sent certified mail to the property owner at the address listed with property appraiser's records. In addition, both notices were posted at City Hall at least 10 days prior. All evidence in this case, including photographs, have been marked as exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be true and accurate portrayals of the photographs the day that they were taken. Again, proactive case began December 2021 when I noticed the exterior walls and the roof in disrepair to include chipped paint, holes in the walls. The roof trim was rotting with holes. The property is still in violation as of today, and would like a 30 days for the property to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day to be imposed until that property is in compliance. Haven't heard anything from the property owner.
This is a tenancy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, if the inside's as bad as the outside. Okay, I'm going to give him 21 days to comply, or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it seems only right that you would have the last case. Unless I'm mistaken. No, I haven't. 22-103. On my agenda, that's the last case. Am I missing some?
Nope, that's
Yeah.
it, Your Honor.
Oh, you want to do more? This
No.
isn't enough?
My daughter is texting me.
We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
My name is Marian Laracy. I'm employed by the City of Deltona as Code Compliance Officer. This is in case reference to DEL 22-013, City of Deltona versus Florence N. Figarelli Estates. Property address is 1800 Snook. Parcel ID is 813-023-040-180. This is a violation of City of Deltona Ordinance Section 18-3, adopting the latest edition of the Florida Building Code, Section 105.1, which states that any owner, authorized agent who intends to construct, enlarge, alter, repair, move, demolish, or change the occupancy of a building or structure, or to erect, install, enlarge, alter, repair, remove, convert, or replace any electrical, gas, mechanical, or plumbing system, installation which is regulated by this code, or to cause any such work to be done, shall we first make application to the building official and obtain the required permit. Statutory requirements for this notification of hearing have been met. Notice of hearing, notice of violation have been sent certified mail to the property owner listed with property appraisers. In addition to the notices posted 10 days prior to this hearing, all evidence in the case, including photographs, have been marked exhibits and submitted to the Special Magistrate Clerk. I certify any and all photographs to be accurate portrayals of the day that they were taken. The case was a complaint in regards to replacing the driveway apron with asphalt without a permit. I confirmed that a permit was not pulled. There hasn't been any contact with the resident until just very recently. They said that they were going to pull the permit, and nothing has been done. Property still in violation, driveway still remains the same. City requests 60 days for the property to come into compliance, or a $50 a day fine until compliance has been met.
How much per day?
$50.
So ordered.
Thank you, sir.
It's all the fun I need tonight, folks.
Yes.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Thank you, sir.
Get the distinct impression I'll see you again soon. 2 weeks. All right, you guys stay safe.
You too. Be
Yeah,
careful.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll get it. Just gotta